What is going on, my entities? It's your boy, the Universal Entity, back at it again. Remember to like, dislike, share the video, subscribe, and comment down below. Now, guys, today we'll be reacting to an Album Preach video that's like a week old, or maybe it's a few days old, titled, "Why Isn't Your Business Trans Competent?" And if you guys wonder why I kind of struggle to say the word competent, it's because, like, as I was reading the title, I was like I've watched this video before, but like, the more and more I get into it, is like the more and more ridiculous it sounds, the more I repeat it to myself. Like, you ever just like read something and then it's like you read it the second or third time, and then it's like you really get even a better grasp of like, hey, this is actually really bad. This is actually really ridiculous. But yeah, the show must go on, right? So hope you guys love watching. And by the way, as I react to this video and comment about it, I want to let this be known from now, I won't be actually reacting to the entire video in it, like all of it. Like, I believe it's like 11 minutes long or so. There will be parts of it I'll probably skip, or just, I don't know, maybe react like the first half or something along those lines. So please bear with me, guys. Like, I'm really trying to cut down the reaction time so that I can hopefully get videos that are like 20 minutes long or even less. Hopefully like maybe 15-minute videos, right? Alright, cool.
If them call you sir, I don't know what they did then.
Because they saw the name on my credit card and they were not being nice people.
Well, I mean, that's all your name on the credit card. What do you want? What do you want them to tell you?
That has nothing to do with it. There could be someone in the back that they don't see that's paying.
Okay, ma'am.
So why would they intentionally do that? Can you tell me what your location has done to be trans competent?
Transcompetent. Transcompetent. I think it's competent.
Is that because a person is trans?
Yeah. So
No,
I guess
but
they gave him a name, and the name was like James Corden.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hello, sir," and they're like, "Actually, it's ma'am." And now they're mad about the fact they were.
No, because we're covering this.
I gotta say, within the first minute, Preach, who was like the guy with the dreads, he has my exact same thoughts. Personally, I'm not the type of person who's going to cover a bunch of this stuff across my channel. Maybe in the years to come, it'll become a bit more common. But for now, I'm going to probably try to keep videos like these, probably like a handful every year or so on, because I'm not really that type of person to like be doing these stuff, guys. Like, again, I'm more into like the dating, relationship scene, religious and even cultural aspects of like my own culture, Caribbean culture, and even the world's culture. Stuff like these really and truly aren't the top priority in the world. I kind of have that mindset whereby I'm in a third world country, right? So guys, I just wanted to kind of bear with me for a second. I'm in a third world country, Jamaica, English speaking country. We have Creole and so on, and throughout all of that, we also have to come to realize that the crime rate is relatively high, for at least for the population size that we have. And out of corruption, it's like 155 Jamaican dollars it makes to get even just $1. So the currency ain't doing that well either. And throughout all the problems we have down here, you really think we're going to take up LGBT trans problems on our doorstep and say, hey, this is like a real problem you have to face? We can barely feed and supply everything we need to all of our, even most of our citizens, whether they are gay or not. You really think we have money to be spending on LGBTQIA plus rights? Really? The people who are part of the so-called alphabet community, do you really think, at least from my point of view, we have money to be spending on you guys? Like people say, the closer you are to a more third world country economy, is the more people actually worry about things that actually matter, the things we need to survive. First world country privileges, can I tell you? But let's get to it.
I'm sorry. Dude.
This man almost killed me, man.
No,
He almost killed me.
it's not that. It's just
The way you looked at me, the disgust in your face. You said, yo, really.
Okay? Like I told you, we don't discriminate anybody in here. Okay? I'm so sorry if you feel discriminated.
No. It's not that I feel, it's that I was discriminated against. I would like you to promise me.
No. Motherfucker said sorry, and that's what it is. That's it.
Yet again, Preach, we agree on this. There is no way in God's given name I could be working at a place and a customer in that line, like I apologize to them, I do everything possible, even if I probably wasn't even in the wrong, and that customer looks at me dead in the face and telling me, I need to promise them. I said, ma'am, the only thing I want to promise you is better customer service. That's the most I can ever do to make sure something like that never happens again. I am never going to look at you and promise whenever you, because automatically, you know, that's like a form of like submission. In that moment, that trans person is basically telling the customer to submit to what you are about to promise to me. Because that's even the mindset that they say, listen, you better promise, or I'm going to get you fired, or something along those lines. And I guarantee you, even though that guy, the guy who's serving her, the Mexican or whatever, the minority guy who's in America or Canada or one of those first world countries, wherever he is, but more than likely it's like in North America, he may have gotten a talking from his managers or so at work, but the likelihood that he probably got fired, at least from my opinion, highly unlikely. He probably just got like a talking to and be like, listen, just make sure that incident don't happen again, but that's because people are trying to cancel. We're not going to fire you. Like, within a week, everybody will forget you. Like nobody's going to come here and be like, we're going to stop coming to Taco Bell or wherever, just because this one particular guy works here. Within a week, everything kind of smooth now, isn't it? It's not like he's like doing something bad, like racially motivated or so. Like, just give the guy a break. Simple as that. Simple as that. So yeah, Preach, you and me, we're agreeing on this. Like, when the customer tells me that, I'm like, listen, let's move on before me, please. Like, you maximize all your customer privileges. At this point, you're just trying to humiliate me and all this type of stuff. Just get out the way, please.
End of story. Move. I would like to promise. I ain't got. What are you, my mom? Shit, I don't promise shit to my girlfriend. Who the fuck you think you are? Promise me that. Yeah, promise me to suck my dick. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck up and move on.
Listen, I think it's perfectly acceptable. If somebody gets whatever pronoun, just let him know. And then after that, if they correct it, whatever, just move on.
Exactly,
But
move
sitting
on.
here yelling with these people.
Promise me.
It just
Hey.
does more damage to whatever you've. It's just a waste of time.
It already went way over.
They apologize, and you still push it.
Yeah.
Then it looks like, okay, this is something more than what it needs to be.
That's the thing. That. And
They apologize. Keep it pushing.
That is everybody, every community that's been ostracized, that's been you're gonna feel some type of way, and when things are gonna happen, you're gonna do a little bit more. That happens with black people, racism. That happened with big people, with fat people. That happened with trans people. That happened with gays. That person says sorry. Hey, sorry. But then that's not enough. You want more. No, I want you to promise. Okay, now that you promised, I want you to get down on your knees and tell me pretty please.
Yeah.
It's never enough at some point. And I know my community went through that shit. We went through that shit. We were doing the most sometimes. And I was like, yo, this is not solving anything right now. And the person said sorry, move on, or never shop there again. Vote and make people decide with your dollars. Once someone is gonna realize that you're not spending so much money on a place, they're gonna change their ways, and that's it. Yeah, it's gonna be for the money. Sometimes that's how you get people to change their mind. Yup. Crazy, isn't it? I know. Fucked up, isn't it? But I want it to come from them. Yeah, but you cannot decide that for someone.
Okay, let's keep it a stack. If you got a name like James Corden, people are gonna assume you're a sir.
And if you do not understand that, I got a friend, she's a girl. Her name is Fred. Yeah, their parents named her Frederick. You cannot be Frederick. You cannot be mad that your name is Fred and people think or assume that you're a guy. If you don't understand that, then you're being a bit disingenuous.
Yeah.
You're not being.
And I have a greater question for this, I guess, trans person. Why didn't you just change your flipping name? Why didn't you just change your flipping name? If this is a credit card, let's say you're going to like a banking institution, like here in Jamaica or whatever. If you change your name, and it's that thing where like they ask for like your birth certificate or something like that, and then you have to explain to them, I had a name change and so on. So even though this is my actual birth certificate, this is also the certificate to prove that I also had the name change, to prove that this is actually my real birth certificate, even though it has a different name on it, etc., etc., etc. Why is it that these people will go to their way to so-called change their genders, but they can never go all the way into stuff like these? Like, it's like, alright, I change my gender, I just have to look a little bit more feminine, I act a bit more feminine, but at the end of the day, I'm just basically a gay guy with some breasts and artificial stuff that make me look more like a woman. I still have my private parts the same, basically, on all this type of stuff. I can still use a urinal in the sense of like being a trans woman and so on, right? Why? I know it's extremely funny because within the whole trans community, even from the athletic point of view or not, I always hear the point of view that when a woman is trying to become a man, even though she may gain some physical benefits, producing like testosterone levels similar to us and those type of stuff, they are never able to do it to the extent that we are, right? They get the beards, they get the bone structure and all that type of stuff, and it's like I said, they can still never really match a guy who has gone all out, who was naturally born a man, and they still have their respective private parts, which is why they can get pregnant still. But in the sense of a trans woman, they gain basically all the benefits in the world. Basically. The only difficulty is that with a trans person, it's extremely difficult for them to, like, whether a man or a woman, of course, it's extremely difficult to find a partner, because basically you have to go find somebody who's like in the bisexual, like pansexual, or even a trans person or something, because more than likely no gay person or no lesbian or straight person is ever going to want to be with you. So it's even harder for you to find somebody, right? You have better opportunities as a trans person finding love with a sapiosexual at that point. And even then, they're not going to really love you for your body. They're going to love you for like your mind. So good luck trying to get it on in the night time with those people, especially if you're not intelligent. So I don't know. I mean, to me personally, I will never regret saying this on the internet. I just personally think trans people, or sorry, not trans people, the opportunity to become trans shouldn't have existed. I personally believe that. I believe within the medical field, we should have never gone to those lengths. I think plastic surgery, even as it comes with own set of problems, is the most we should have ever explored in regard to like changing things about the human body. I understand some of those things may be beneficial to people who are like have medical conditions and so on like that. Maybe the research that would have gone into like creating trans people from surgeries and those type of stuff, and people taking medication, etc. But at the end of the day, guys, I really don't think the one or two pros outweighs the many cons that it is causing in society. People are getting confused, and we're soon going to have to reach a point where we're going to have to start asking people for their blasted birth certificates just to find out if they were naturally born, or we have to talk to their parents and pray that nobody in their family is going to be all supportive of it and be like, and like start to lie. Like can you imagine if some trans person was so convoluted that they actually got their parents and all their family members to actually tell people lies that yeah, they were born this gender when they're actually born this gender, when they're just now transitioning into that, and you quote unquote fall in love with that person. Do you get me? Before ever seeing their private parts. And hopefully you don't fall into that trap. You don't fall in love and all that stuff before seeing those things. But I'm just saying. Right? It might get to that point. It's not impossible. So yeah. Crazy world we live in, huh?
You're not being real with yourself right now. Come on now, B.
That you will stop treating trans people this way.
How I'm treating you? I'm treating you bad? And I'm doing
Your
it?
staff.
Your name on the credit card is a feminine name?
No.
Exactly. They're not discriminating you.
Yes,
No,
they are.
They're not. Coming from a store. You get the reason why a store clerk is gonna ask you for is because they get frauded a lot. That's it. It's monetary. It is not trans or whatever. Motherfuckers, most motherfuckers don't care. Yo, your name don't match. We get frauds out here. We want to see if it match. They're gonna sometimes ask you for ID. That's it. That's it. You try to make a thing out of a thing that's not a thing.
My sexuality, whatever it is, and I feel confident of who I am.
I'm not
what I am.
talking about
That's
sexuality.
what you're just telling
You
me
don't
right now.
even know what we're talking about. So how can you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? We're talking about gender identity. You're talking about sexuality.
Okay, to me, I'm a male. Okay?
Okay?
So, what are you? So I can call you a sir or ma'am. What are you?
What would you assume looking at me?
No, 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 no. You're not doing this.
Thank you yet again, my boy Preach. You got it again. First of all, I didn't even really think about the fraud part. Like, that was like light years away from my brain. So thank you for that idea too. I was actually like, that's actually a good reason to why people end up in those situations too. But then this trans person is like, you know, I make this guy's day even harder and try to embarrass him even more. You can see people like this trans persons, they have probably never done a day in their life with like a debating club or so on. Never had any strategies regarding how to communicate with people. And they probably have a lot of problems in their personal life. And they're trying to abuse their power right here, right now. They probably had like a bad day, bad week or something. Like, you know, I'm just trying to embarrass this person for the one mistake he did. I'm just trying to embarrass this person, try to get him fired or so. Even though I am of like a minority of a minority of a minority within America itself. Because the reality is not even 5% of people in America are trans people, whether man or woman. Not even 5%, guys. Not even 5%. Okay? Alright. This person, this guy who's working there, may only ever encounter maybe 5 other trans persons in his entire life while working here. Say he works there for like another 20 years or so on. And you want him to make this special rule, promise or whatever to like you and maybe the handful of other people that will be like you, when he already has a job, he already has like a mission, something being paid for, and he has to follow by procedures. Why don't you talk to the manager? Tell them, say, hey, maybe you should do this or do that. As Preach said, money talks. If somehow things happen because they say, hey, I feel offended because this trans person was there and therefore all of America will no longer go to this particular branch of Sonic or, as I said, Taco Bell, Subway, wherever, then they'll learn their lesson and they'll be like, all right, let's come around, let's reach you guys halfway and you know, try to accommodate things a bit more. Personally, I just read, as I said, guys, I don't regret saying this. I personally think the procedures for people to become trans should never have existed. I feel like as human beings, we're getting a bit too free with what we can do with our money and our time and our energy and so on, the effort we put into stuff. And I think that one of those things that we should never have created is the ability to do surgeries to allow people to become trans. I will never say that a person existing is like a mistake, Because I even tell people, like, from my point of view, the Nazis and the whole Hitler thing back in World War II, to some degree, that needed to happen. Because I feel like every couple of hundreds of years, or every millennium or so, and every like 1,000 years or so, the earth needs to, that the people of this planet need to kind of wake up and realize that, hey, if we allow people to become too free, or whatever the cases are, we restrict too many things, these type of persons can end up being created. It's just that people like Hitler is like the more recent one. They're one of the more recent persons in the last like 200 years that we can say, yes, this person was like almost evil incarnate within a human being. You get me? So like, we need to kind of learn from these lessons and realize that sometimes, based on things in the past from previous cultures and societies, different tribes, etc., that maybe some things just shouldn't be invented. Some things just shouldn't be invented. And I personally think the surgery for people to become trans is one of those things. Because yes, people are doing it out of their free will, but at what cost, guys? Look at what's going on. At what cost? So I'm going to try and end the video right here, guys. Hopefully you guys, as I said, dislike the video, subscribe, share the video, even comment down below. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, you can go to Abba and Preach's personal YouTube page. I've kind of already watched the video already, and I know that there's going to be a part to like the trans person reviews herself, and I'm like, this person looks almost like a drag queen in a way, in the sense of like how they are, how they're dressed, and so on, how they look, and everything. So that's just my personal take on it, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So have a nice day, guys. To all my fellow entities, and this is Universal Entity signing out.